Whether you want to be a brand strategist or you want to hire one, this video is for you. Not only do I have one brand strategist here, that's me, I've got two. This is going to be good. Keep watching. I'm Pallen, a brand strategist. Welcome to my channel where I promise practical advice to build your brand. And today, it's very exciting. I'm teaming up with one of my wonderful friends, Kaye Putnam, a fellow brand strategist. I can't think of anyone better to help me explain what exactly a brand strategist is. So let's jump right into it. First question, Kaye, what does a brand strategist actually do?
Thank you for having me. That is an amazing question. I feel like there's a lot of confusion in the marketplace. Branding itself kind of has a branding problem. There are people who are just creating social media content and calling themselves brand strategists. And there are designers who are also calling themselves brand strategists, and none of those outputs are really brand strategy. So let's dissect this. A lot goes into it, but a brand strategist, I like to think of as the curator of the brand experience. We're responsible for making sure that every single touch point that a customer or client has with a brand is consistent, on brand, and aligned with the business's strategic objectives. There's a tired but true metaphor about how it's really hard to read the outside label of a bottle if you're the one that's inside of it. And I feel like this is true for the CEOs that we work with. They're visionaries, they tend to have a lot of really great ideas, and they don't have a strong system or method for sorting through and evaluating those good ideas to figure out what is actually on brand for them. And that's where we come in. I like to tell people that I build brands from the inside out because the best brands are built on truth, not trends. Once we extract and sort through all of the millions of good ideas that we get from our clients, we create a brand strategy and set of standards that will dictate and define every single decision that the brand makes from here on out. What we're really doing is we're making sure that every single part of the brand experience is working together so that people trust and feel really good about doing business or buying from the brands that they buy from. The way that I've delivered this over the last decade has changed. I used to do a lot more agency style done for you work. These days, after a decade in business, I offer VIP brand intensives to define the brand strategy and standards. And then I work with a lot of students in my Brand Clarity Collective where I'm coaching them in a group environment and offering a lot of amazing curriculum to help them develop their own brands.
You explain that very well. It's actually very similar for you and me. We both juggle client projects with content creation like this. That's an opportunity that you and I have to teach our framework, share our knowledge so people can brand themselves. I've actually heard you describe seeing yourself clearly as an art, and I love this idea. Can you elaborate on what that means?
Yes. One of the most important things that a brand strategist can do is to help their client sort through all of those good idea fairies to figure out what to actually focus on. Too often we get caught up in the day-to-day grind and just being in our business. We don't have a very good perspective of the business as a whole. That's where a brand strategist steps in. One of my favorite exercises to do with clients and my students is what I call my 10 brand truths, where I ask people to just list out what they believe to be true about the world, about their industry, about their product, about the world at large, so that they can identify the unchanging truth of their brand. This really helps to create a strong position and point of view that we can build the rest of the brand around. Another tool that I'm obsessed with to help my clients and any entrepreneur see themselves more clearly is to identify what your top brand archetypes are. There are these timeless categories that are connected to universal human values that show up across industries, across geography. They connect to emotional, gut level reasons why people are attracted to different brands. Again, it's hard to see yourself clearly, so it's helpful to have a tool like brand archetypes that can point you in the direction of why people are buying from you as opposed to a different brand. Once you identify and determine what your core values and your personality as a brand are, it becomes much easier to make decisions about how your brand is going to show up and attract the right clients to you.
Sometimes people are shocked to find out that I don't actually design our brands. Obviously, I'm a part of the process, but design is just one aspect of it. There are other intangibles, like strategy can sometimes be a bit intangible. These help make the design better. Actually, let's talk about that for a second. Can you differentiate between the high-level responsibilities and the more tangible responsibilities for us? So color, font, origin story, I've heard you say.
Oh my gosh, yes. So design is the outward expression of the brand strategy. Brand design is the logos, the colors, the icons, all of the different elements that make up the design. The brand strategy is what is actually informing all of those decisions. Brand strategy is the internal foundation of the brand. Again, those point of view statements, the personality, the position in the market, your ideal target audience, both are really important, but you have to start with the brand strategy first so that you can be intentional about the brand design and the copywriting and any other creative decision that you're making on behalf of the brand, for that matter. If you don't start with brand strategy, you can end up with this Frankenstein effect where you're just like pulling a bunch of ideas all together and it doesn't really work. And if you're like a lot of my clients and students, you might find yourself in this constant loop of feeling like you need to rebrand every 6 months or every year to reinvent yourself. But the good news is when you do the brand strategy correctly, you create something that is timeless and unique to you. Yes, you might tweak or evolve or like slightly shift different assets, but the core truth of your brand stays the same. And people begin to know you for that truth, for that message, for that position that you've carved out in the market. When I first launched my business, one of the first things that I reiterated 1,000 times was, I am not a designer. I feel like you and I have this in common where I feel like I'm an okay designer, but that is not my zone of genius. My zone of genius is understanding exactly what is compelling about your story, about your message, how we can express that on a foundational level. One of my favorite things about my job is having that interview with my client and asking them what lights them up about business, why they got into this brand in the first place, and then helping them understand the impact that is possible with this work that they're doing in the world. And then I act as sort of a conduit between that foundational truth and the creatives that are going to bring that brand to life. Often CEOs don't know how to talk to creatives. They expect people to be able to read their mind or to just understand the heart and soul behind what they're doing, but they don't have the expertise and the experience that's necessary to effectively delegate to those creatives. So as a brand strategist, I come in and I am that conduit. I'm taking the CEO's vision and I'm putting it into a brand strategy and standards document that I call a brand source book, my clients, that creatives can effectively use to bring the brand to life. This is a massive time saver because you don't have to have that conversation again and again and again about this is what my brand stands for. You've already defined it, you just need the support in bringing it to life. To sum this up, the brand strategist is identifying the core brand values, personality, position, and the standards that everybody's going to live up to if they're implementing the brand. The creatives that are helping us develop and create those tangible resources are actually creating copy for, say, the website or social media or a book, or designing actual assets for the brand. They're designing the homepage, the website, social media graphics, etc. Brand strategy comes first, so all of those creatives are working in concert with each other. If you skip the brand strategy step, you end up with that discombobulated, out of alignment expression from all of the different creatives that you work with. You need to have that singular vision, singular point of view that's being brought to life by everybody that's in your brand.
Kaye, you've explained this stuff so clearly. Thank you. Thank you for being a genius and for sharing it with us. You also have a YouTube channel. Can you tell people where they can get more of your amazing goodness?
Thank you. You can check out my YouTube channel at youtube.com/Kaye Putnam. If you search for Kaye Putnam on anywhere, I'm a good internet marketer, so you'll find me in all of the places. I like to talk about all things branding, psychology, and entrepreneurship. I would love to have you in my orbit as well. Thanks for having me, Phil. You're amazing. If you want help identifying what makes you incredible and unique in the market, I have a slightly famous brand quiz on my website that helps you identify which of the 12 brand archetypes is your primary archetype, meaning you're connecting to that innate advantage that you have and that gut emotional reason why people choose you over other options in the market. There was a Harvard study done that shows that up to 95% of the decisions, including purchasing decisions, are made on that emotional subconscious level. So we need to make sure that we're building our brand with that in mind. Otherwise, we're missing out on a massive opportunity to reach our ideal clients.
Kaye, you are the best. I appreciate you taking time to be a part of this video.
This was so much fun. I hope that you come over to my channel over here on YouTube. I'm also on Instagram. And if you have any questions or comments or ideas based on this amazing interview, thank you, Phil, I'm happy to answer. And I just want to express my appreciation for you, Phil, because in addition to being a genius brand strategist who I look up to and admire very much, I love your face and I love your brain, and I can't wait to spend some more time with you.
So Kaye might just be one of my favorite industry colleagues. In fact, Kaye inspired today's freebie. Discover your brand archetype with my free brand archetypes PDF. Knowing your archetype makes brand positioning and content creation a whole lot easier. This PDF is really fun. Kaye is the reigning archetype expert, according to me, and I've learned so much from her on this topic. It's linked in the description below. My way of saying thanks for hanging out with me today. Now I want to hear from you. Are you looking to hire a brand strategist or maybe become one? Let us know in the comments below. I respond to those personally. And if you enjoy this video, give it a like. That helps other people discover these videos, which we work hard to create for you. And subscribe for more of my videos on branding, positioning, building, and promoting your brand. A huge thanks to Kaye for collaborating with me on this. Next, a few videos I think you'll be interested in. I'm Phil Pallen. Thanks for watching. Those are coming up next.